Minutes passes mighty.
Yeah, it passes by really, really quick. It should.
Good morning, everyone, and this is Wake Up with Toastmasters. I am your guest host today, Phyllis Tribby. I am a past district governor and a distinguished Toastmaster. With me today is my co-host to take care of all my technical problems, Jennifer.
Good morning.
And our guest, Curtis Helt. Good morning, Curtis. How are you doing?
Good morning. I am doing fantastic, Phyllis. Thank you. How are you?
Couldn't be better. Life is great because we're in Toastmasters, right? Is that it?
For sure.
What talk to Curtis about why you joined Toastmasters? How did you join Toastmasters?
Well, that's kind of simultaneous almost. I was doing some volunteer work with Norma Tanner, a distinguished Toastmaster.
Mhm.
She told me, I think I know the spot for you. Come to Toastmasters. She gave me the address. I showed up and I found home. I literally found home. I could tell you all about our first meeting.
Yes.
It was just incredible. The word of the day was spectacle. The Toastmaster was Phyllis Wall. The theme was Barnum and Bailey. The general evaluator was Guy Dawson. I was super impressed with him. I watched him and it was just like, golly, if I could be 10% of that effective, I would be something amazing. Everything fell into place and I said, I'm coming back. I want to join. I did. That was April 1st, which was quite interesting, back in 2012.
Oh, excellent. So that was my next question. How long have you been at it? So 10 years, almost.
Almost 10 years, just getting started.
And how many clubs do you belong to?
I belong to 3 clubs at the moment. I was in 4. However, medical issues prevented me from getting to that 4th club because that's the time for one of my physical therapies that I'm taking care of.
I
And
see. You want
it's
to talk
been
about each one of your clubs a little bit?
okay. Well, my home club is Windjammers, club number 2628. I have been there, oh goodness, since 2012. The whole club is very supportive. We're structured right down to a science. Everything falls into place. They've got a form for anything and everything that you need for Toastmasters, as well as some good educational material. I've learned how to speak without using a whole lot of ums. Well, so just listen to a politician, listen to me, you'll see a clear difference.
Yeah.
I at least address the issue I'm asked. The second club I joined was Centennial Hills. They were big. I was their area director. And I thought, geez, this is such a nice club. It's just about the same as Windjammers. A little bit different, but still the same. Then I got into Sage Leaders. They were great. I learned that. Then UNLV Toastmasters. That was my 4th club that I had joined. I was just pulling along. All of them taught me different things in different ways, a little bit different structure on each. However, all of them are real regimented. They're just wonderful. I had done so much. And then unfortunately, because of a little stroke that I had to drop one of them due to medical issues so that I have time to get my physical therapy in. So I'm just down to 3 clubs.
I couldn't agree with you more about Windjammers. In fact, their structure and their crib sheets, I call them, and their how to do booklet, I have sent to many clubs, especially during the time when I was in top 3. If I started a new club, I sent them all the materials that I had from Windjammers so they would know how to make their own crib sheets that actually pertain to their club and have a good understanding of what each one of the roles was about. So yes, I would say they really, really work hard to make all their instruction manuals a #1 class. You mentioned a little bit about area director. Do you want to talk about that a little while? How did you get into that, and did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was part of the process of just moving up the ladder.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit afraid because you have to put on a contest. And I know that you cannot compete as an area director. So I told Christina Scoble and Bob Scoble, they're very close friends of mine, what was happening, how I was progressing along. And Christina said, I will be your contest chair if you need one. I said, I definitely would. And I said, that has made my decision for me right there. So she was the catalyst that brought me to being a distinguished Toastmaster. She put me in as an area director. And next thing you know, I had things rolling that it was just incredible. And I was not how would you say that? I was very hands-on.
Yes.
However, I wasn't the one that made the wheels turn. I tell Christina what I wanted to do, what my venue was, and I pulled it together. It was just amazing at the people that come in and helped. I was thinking I was alone. I was not alone. I had more help than I knew existed. It was just incredible. I've learned so much about so many people just being an area director. In my high performance leadership, I surpassed my goal. My goal was to make $1,000, and I made substantially more for the race for cancer. It's called the Race for Life. It's to defeat cancer. And I did a substantial amount more than my goal.
We mentioned something that is so very, very true in all Toastmasters. We are all here to help one another. That's the main theme, I think, from Toastmasters, is people helping people. And you're right about someone volunteering, but even if they don't volunteer, once you ask, people are very, very willing. I find that so true, even in finding guests for our little show here, is that you just can't wait for somebody to volunteer. You got to say, I've got this date open. Will you fill it? Is that not what I asked of you, Curtis? Come and visit us.
It is. You asked if anyone wanted to come into this Toastmaster venue, and I says, yeah, I can do that. 6 a.m. I'm up, no problem.
Yeah.
It
And
was
I
so
say Toastmasters is for everyone. What do you think? Can everyone benefit from Toastmasters?
even a serial killer could benefit from Toastmasters.
Oh,
It's
do
not
I go that? Yeah, there are lots of people to check on, I suppose.
It doesn't matter where you go. You take a look at our politicians, every other word is a well, so you pull those out just by simply helping to understand the parts of speech. Once that's done, they have no problem anymore. If they were to act and speak, like I've seen a couple of presidents that were just terrible, and I've seen one president that was superb. I'm not looking for parties and all this. However, you could tell which president had actually had Toastmasters behind them. It wasn't a problem. His speech was perfect or near perfect. He could walk in and out of a speech, give a 45-minute segment, never stumble over words. He just knew what to do. And you didn't hear the, well, like, these, I'd say cretin, terrible pieces of English were not in his vocabulary. He went right to the point and went right on through it. He may have lied, but he went through it.
Yeah, we don't always have to tell the truth, but we have to do good word structure and not use any of those filler words. Kind of one of the things that new people don't quite understand when they come to Toastmasters. They're in table topics and they get a question, and it's like they can't find the truth. And I tell them, tell me a lie. You're supposed to speak. That's the only thing the question is. You answer it. And if it doesn't match the question, that's okay. We want you to speak up and get used to talking in public. So yeah, could be a lie. What do you think your future might be in Toastmasters? Are you going to try for division, or will you do area again?
No, I probably won't. I've had some real issues, so I've got some disabilities right now. I may in the near future, talking 2 or 3 years, that may happen once I get myself back to where I can drive and do things again. However, at the moment, it's still a learning process. I've gained enormous amounts through Toastmasters. And when I say an enormous amount, talking, I can speak to my boss, or well, I'm not employed now. However, I can speak with a representative of a company that I talk to very frequently. We have no problems communicating. He speaks with 10 times more uhs, ums, so's, all this garbage that is not necessary. And one thing I found about Toastmasters that I've never found about anyone else, when somebody tells you, I want you to succeed, they mean it.
Yeah.
It's not just a couple of words thrown together. They really mean it. And you'll see it because they're going to help you in every facet of it. I had people teach me and help me be mentors, my speaking. I've had people help me to learn how to set up contests, how to work and do different portions of our meetings, get people in. It's been really a wonderful thing. The blessings are just many.
I think that's very true. I'm hitting 25 years in Toastmasters, and it's still a learning experience. Today was my first time to sign on to the website by myself. Yes, and I got that done. So yeah, in Toastmasters, there's always something new to learn. We mentioned a little bit about contests. Are you a contestant? How do you enjoy that? And which contest do you think you like the best?
Ooh, I like 2 contests real close together. And the one would be the humorous and the other would be tall tales. I like those contests really well. And if you was to look at my trophy case in the living room, it is enormous and almost full. I think I have room for about 3 more trophies. And it's 5 tiers. It's big.
Okay, then. When are you going to compete again? And have you got something in mind to talk about?
I do. I'm working on a international speech, and I will be also in the evaluation contest this year. I'm told I'm a very good evaluator. I'll stick with that.
Well, we had Bill Parker on. He talked some about evaluations and the 3 points that need to be made to get a good evaluation going. We might as well give him a plug. See, Las Vegas Storytellers. I think it's like maybe the 15th, one of their Saturdays. He's putting on a very educational about that. Do you have any pointers for us about evaluations?
99% of what I have learned about evaluation came from Bill Parker. He is phenomenal. The thing that you want to really work on is let the person know if they've met their objectives, the things that you liked, the things that you think can improve a speech, and then go back and reiterate what you really liked. I also love to put in a small phrase, something like Jack Dale Dory said. That's a potato shed manager from where I grew up. And he said, there's no such thing as common sense. Common sense is not that common. It fits a lot of speeches. Or perhaps I might say something from Kurt Vonnegut. You built your wings on the way down. There's several of those little phrases that I have used because they fit the speech and because people are very well known or liked. And they really have meaning. Those are areas that I loved with speaking. And evaluation has made me 10 times the speaker that I was.
It's a great listening experience. You can't evaluate if you're not a good listener. To listen to what someone else has to say and make a comment. And I want to tell our audience out there that when we do an evaluation, we use the words I. It's always one person's opinion. I felt, I saw, I understood. Various ways, but it's always I. It's not anything that the group did. It's your personal opinion. So I like the audience to know that we're talking about how I felt about the speech and what I thought could have been improved. So it's a great thing. Also, when talking about contests, you also mentioned that you were going to be doing international. Can you give us a hint about that?
I can tell you a little bit about international. An international contest can be any speech. It doesn't matter. The thing that you want is to grab the audience. You want to bring in their attention, let them laugh a little bit, let them run with you and see your story. Let them see and have the heartfelt moments of that speech with you, and leave them something to chew on for the rest of the day, something they can think about. So essentially, as I was told many years ago, make them laugh, make them cry, speak 5 to 7, and say goodbye. And that is literally the way I've done it, and it works. People listen, they love it. Everybody can get something out of it, including the speaker, because your ability to speak just grows. Stage time is the key.
Oh, now we're hearing from our good buddy Darren LaCroix. Stage time, stage time, stage time. And he can do it well. I'll say that for him. He does a great stage time.
Yes, he does. That's why he was world champion of public speaking.
There you go. How are you doing with, I guess I want to say gestures, but it's more facial expression right now that we're doing Zoom. So are you doing well with that? Can you give us any extra hints about how to do more facial expressions for our speeches?
I utilize a combination of facial expressions, and you could say fatal explosions. I'll give you an example. In one of my last speeches, I used a donut. When I held the donut up, I smacked it with my other hand and went splatter everywhere, which was perfect. Never hit the camera lens. It was perfect. Everyone says, "Oh my goodness." They could see everything I was doing. Well, I did it to send a message, and it worked. This, donuts are not healthy for you. Blam. They're delicious. Don't get me wrong. I love donuts. However, they're not a healthy source of protein or anything for your body. They're a good snack once in a while. And that was something I was putting in this speech. It blew up, went everywhere. People really got the message. Another one that I had used, which was a toy gun in a speech where I had taken a gun away from somebody, was really neat as just a pickpocket, just something to do. It was just some hilarious stuff that I pulled in a story. It had the good means to it, and people laughed. That was something I really have always looked at. Can I make this person laugh? Can I make that person laugh? I can remember Bill Jackie, for instance. He was a very straight person. I wanted to see him laugh. I got him to laugh in my speech. It was fun. Those were days that I'll never forget. The contests, all of them have been good. And to mention somebody, most people know Jesse Oakley. One of the things that I put into a speech, your first word was mama. Yours was chocolate. And everybody knows your first word was strawberry. They all knew that was Jesse Oakley. As soon as I said strawberry, it was just fun. And it's always been that way. Have fun with your audience, get them to listen, and enjoy the day.
And one of those fun things, of course, is what's going to make your speech memorable. Are they going to be talking about it later on? And that's what we all want. We want to be reaching the public and giving them an item like a smashed donut. It's got to be something they're going to be talking about later. And when they talk about it, they remember the speech.
Yes, they do.
You're kind of quiet. Would you like to ask a few questions here?
I've been chatting online with a potential guest for tomorrow. So, and he was in Ireland. But Curtis, one of my memories of you is the speeches that you have done in the contest. And I really thought, gosh, he's always in character and he does an amazing job at that. And listening to your presentation with Phyllis this morning, I am still trying to get from you is, and I can't even think because it's my first time probably actually talking since, waking up. So sorry. My question to you is, or a statement that you made is that you found a lot of good things that came out of people that helped you. What have you contribute to Toastmasters, and what have you found about yourself? Let's ask that question. What have you found that's surprising about yourself that Toastmasters has actually brought into your world, into your life?
The ability to take a interview, for instance, this is just one area. You can be interviewed. You don't fight for words. You just let them come. You talk about the subject they want to talk about, and you let the truth be out there. People love the truth. They love it when you can honestly talk to them, present to them, and when needed, if you got something to say, as far as let's just say it's 2 hours before, that gesture alone, because my hands are down at my side, that gesture alone adds so much, because my hand came up when it was never up before. Those types of things leave people with good memories of you, memories of what you said, and they find the importance in what you said.
Did that surprise you from yourself as a growth opportunity for yourself to be able to, because I talk with my hands, so it would be that I would lose the emphasis because I'm always talking with my hands, but you actually said your hands are by your side. And then when you emphasize with your hand, were you surprised at that gesture and things that you learned from Toastmasters?
I was surprised at the things I had learned. I talked with my hands for many years. I would be up here and talking a lot. That didn't add to my gestures. When I learned to drop the hands and not worry about it, and then I came up and said it, whatever it was that I would need to say. For instance, I need 2 days to work on this. Wham! They really caught that message, and it showed. I could see it in speech. I recorded myself, and wow, that was much better. The impact that I was having on this speech was 10 times more impact than what would be if I was talking with my hands continually. People love it.
I have to practice on that myself.
Do you always record yourself? Do you record all of your speeches or just certain ones or contest speeches?
I do record quite a few of the speeches. And of course, I'm just using what they call iPhone SE to record. However, I learn a lot from my speeches. It's much easier when you're speaking live than it is on the phone or the computer, because I have an audience to connect with. And we feed off of each other. If I can make the audience laugh, I know when their laughter is bowed over, that that pause for their laughter can end and I can go on. When you're on an iPhone, you kind of have to guess. And I may guess right, I may guess wrong.
Yeah, there could be a blank in there where nobody's laughing, or you could be walking, like they say, on your laugh line, talking it over what you should be getting a laugh on. I find that very true in introductions. People get introduced on Toastmasters, or on Zoom, I should say, and they immediately start talking. So there's no applause going on that we're kind of used to. One more thing I wanted to mention it's about Windjammers. Have they not gone to all in person? You want to talk about where each one of your clubs meet? So we're coming on to the end of our day. So let's get a plug in for those clubs.
Okay, well, 2 of my clubs are meeting in person. Windjammers is meeting live at Skinny Dugan's. We're there every morning at 7 a.m. sharp. We're usually there a little bit early setting up. However, the meeting starts at 7:30
on Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday morning.
There you go.
And the only way Wednesday we don't hit is if it's New Year's or Christmas. Obviously, those 2 are gone. The rest, I believe, are always there. I've never missed one. The The structure is wonderful. The group is always ready. And if you need questions answered, there's people like Phyllis Wall, Norma Tanner, Dana Wall. They're all right there, just one after the other, ready to answer any question and help you along. I've got one other group, which is UNLV Toastmasters. That one, you can say honestly, everyone is ready to answer your questions, help you, and pull you along. Both of those groups are meeting live. The one that is not meeting live as of yet is Centennial Hills. We had one live meeting, then the dealership where we have our meeting was shut down again because of COVID. We just do it online. We've been very fortunate with the COVID outbreaks. We've pretty much stayed healthy. I know a few people that have had it, not very many. Staying live and staying safe is something that Windjammers, well, all of Toastmasters is very much about.
Absolutely. And when does Centennial Hills meet?
They meet Thursdays. It's every other Thursday, the 2nd and 4th Thursday of the month. They meet at 7:30 p.m. and they're just always helpful, happy, fun living. It's wonderful.
And let's have a plug for Sage Leaders. When do they meet?
Sage is on Tuesdays. Unfortunately, I have my physical therapy on Tuesday evening. They meet every Tuesday, it's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. It's 6:30 p.m. maybe. I can't remember the exact time. I was always there about 5:30 and ready to set up and start the meeting. I'm very much an early bird. I would have so much fun with them because this was a group that was absolutely there for you to learn how to build a club, how to set up a contest, every piece that you would ever need. They were there and they're big time leaders. You got people like Jesse Oakley, Phyllis Wall, Dana Wall. They're just one after the other and they're always there to lead and pull you through.
Well, hopefully our members out there will come and visit you at your clubs. And we are getting on to the end of our hour. I will tell you that on Thursday, our district director will be with us, Carol Campbell. Let's get a lot of questions in for her, find out what's happening for the rest of our Toastmaster year. Jennifer, do you have other announcements that you would like to do this morning?
Well, just be on the lookout that we have a TLI that is going to be on the 8th, and that's going to be in person. And we will be sending out an announcement that we also will have a TLI online on the 24th. So that should be out within the next couple of days.
Excellent, excellent. Well, to everyone out there, we all think that Toastmasters is for everyone. So please check out Toastmasters International, find a club, come and visit, see for yourself what can happen when you join Toastmasters.
Yes.
We'll see you all tomorrow with Jennifer.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Curtis, for joining us. It was fun.
Thank you,
Oh,
Curtis.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good Wednesday or Tuesday, guys.
Have a fantastic Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.